In this video, we'll demonstrate how to transfer an individual from a cot to a wheelchair using a squat pivot technique. Hello, I'm Natalie Albertson with the Division of Physical Therapy Education at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Welcome to the training series for volunteers in disaster shelters. In this video, we'll demonstrate how to transfer an individual from a cot to a wheelchair using a squat pivot technique. This technique may be useful for people who have weakness in their legs, which prevents them from standing. It's helpful to plan the placement of the wheelchair before beginning the transfer. Start by asking the individual if she has a stronger side. If so, it is often easiest to transfer toward that side. Position the wheelchair so it will be closest to the individual's stronger side if space permits. If the individual does not have a stronger side, it doesn't matter where the wheelchair is located. Position the wheelchair several inches from the side of the cot. Then remove the footrest and armrest from the side closest to the cot and place them somewhere where they will be out of the way during the transfer. Move the wheelchair as close to the cot as possible, but still at a slight angle. Finally, securely apply the wheel locks. Fasten a gait belt low and tight around the individual's waist. Ask the individual to place both feet flat on the floor. If necessary, they should scoot forward to the edge of the cot. You should provide assistance at the hips if needed. Place your feet shoulder-width apart to give you a wide base of support. One foot should be placed slightly behind the other. It is advisable to block the individual's knee if she has a weaker side. A knee can be blocked by placing your foot to the outside of her foot on the weaker leg and placing your leg across her upper shin. You should maintain contact with her shin as you move the patient to the wheelchair. Have the individual lean forward and away from the wheelchair. This will seem backwards, but will actually help unweight her hips and pivot towards the wheelchair. Position yourself very close to the individual in order to avoid straining or injury. Instruct the individual to push through her arms and use her legs as much as possible to help you move during the transfer. With a firm hold on the gait belt, shift your weight onto your back foot and lift the individual upward and forward so her hips lift off the cot. Pivot to move the individual towards the wheelchair. Keep in mind that the wheelchair seat height is typically higher than the height of the cot, especially if there is a cushion on the wheelchair seat. This may make the transfer more difficult than a transfer from the wheelchair onto the cot because the individual's hips must be lifted higher. When rotating the individual towards the wheelchair, make sure to rotate with your entire body. Rotating using just your back and trunk is likely to cause injury and should not be done. It is often helpful to say ready, set, lift, or 1, 2, 3 so that you and the individual move in coordination. Remember to bend with your hips and knees and maintain the natural curves in your back while performing this transfer, especially given the low height of the cot. Once the individual is in the wheelchair, the gait belt can now be removed. Replace the footrest and armrest. Finally, check to make sure the individual is comfortable in the wheelchair. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you find these techniques helpful as you provide assistance to those who need help with transfers.